to the homework that I gave you at the end of that session. Today, we shall be looking at how to get distances, how to calculate distances on a map. And we are still in our first topic, physical environment. Physical environment. Physical environment. Measuring distances. Measuring distances in a map. How do you measure distances in a map? Number one, it's good to know which kind of distances are we talking about. Number one, it can be a river. Examples of distances that we measure. Examples of distances that we measure in a map. It can be get the distance between one point of a river to a given point of a river. It can be involving measuring a river. It can be a road. It can be a road. And of course, it can be a railway. It can be a railway. These are some of the distances in most cases you'll be required to measure. It can be a coastline. It can be a coastline. It can be a coastline. Measure the distance between point A of a coastline to a point B of a coastline. These are mostly the distances that we measure in a map. Now, our main concern is how do you measure? Now we have known what we measure. We can be measuring a river, we can be measuring a road, we can be measuring a railway, we can be measuring a length of a coastline at a given point, two major points, point A to point B. Now, how do we measure? This is how we measure distances on a map. For you to get the distance of a river, the length of a road, scale. For any distance, for any length, either of a road, railway, coastline, you need a scale. A scale is a relationship between a distance on a map and the actual distance on the ground. And there are two types of scales. Mostly, we use two types of scale. And number one, we have linear scale. We have linear scale. Linear scale. And of course, we have the second one is called a statement. Statement scale. Linear scale and statement scale. This is what I'll demonstrate to you how you can use a linear scale and how you can use a statement scale and the difference between the two types of scale. But these are majorly the two types of scales that we use to measure the distances in a map. Now, maybe to start off, we can explain what is a linear scale, or rather, how does a linear scale looks like. Now, this is how a linear scale looks like. It's just a straight line with partitions of, it's just a straight line. It will be drawn at the bottom of each map, and it has partitions of exactly 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it is good to know that whichever measurement you will get from this linear scale, it will be converted direct by the scale into kilometers. Remember, I've said that a scale is a relationship between a length or a distance in a map and the corresponding distance on the ground. So on the map, it might be in centimeters, but when you get to the scale, it will convert it into kilometers. This is an example of a linear scale. This is an example of a linear scale, and we shall be seeing how you can use a linear scale to get your distance, a given distance on the map. A linear scale looks like this. A partition of 1 centimeter, and of course it will convert your distance into kilometers. It will convert your map distance into kilometers on the ground. The second one is the statement scale. Statement scale. Statement scale. Now, in the statement scale, now a statement scale is a type of scale that is expressed in a written form. For example, ground. If we go to the ground, it is 1 kilometer. If we go to the map, it is 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter represents 2 kilometers.